Hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. We're live. Are you streaming to the wrong YouTube channel? For those watching on YouTube, is this my live channel or my main channel? What? Okay, it's not showing up as me streaming on either channel. What? Fucking... God damn it. That is such bullshit. Ah! You're showing the wrong window, you bastard. Opera. Yeah, look. Like, what is this? It says offline, 0 viewers. What? Oh, events. Oh, I see. YouTube made it more confusing. I get it now. What? Hell yeah, I want to make some money off of this. Fucking bullshit. Enable live chat. Add. Enable DVR. Low latency for real-time reaction. Do you let me adjust that? Of course I can. Fuck you. Fuck you, YouTube, for not working with anything. Okay, so you're in events. This is where you guys are. Live control room. Alright, this is confusing as shit. I don't know what the difference between events and stream now is, and I don't care. Fuck YouTube. Okay, so, also, why is my button not working here? Stream deck. Ah. OBS Studio. I don't have a working scroll lock key. That's interesting. Okay, shift scroll lock. Meter off. Okay, fuck it. That button just won't work. Who needs that button anyway? Alright. So today we're going to be working on another MacBook. Let's open up this MacBook and see if it can be fixed. This is an A1708 MacBook, non-touch bar, USB-C model that is not turning on. Put this under the microscope, the camera, crotch camera, and see if it can be fixed. By the way, folks, if you're looking for some complete disrespect, check out this screen. Here you can buy a screen for an A1150 or A1211 MacBook Pro, a perfect birthday present for a friend or significant other who wants a fluorescently backlit screen that has a proper EDID code so their A1150 or A1211 ATI Radeon X1600 based MacBook can have a proper screen again. It'll be signed with a loving message from Louis Rossman. May or may not include lyrics to Tool's Message to Harry Manback.
Anybody interested in the fundraiser we're doing for the kids, for the basketball team, Boys and Girls Club? We got the chocolate Milanos and the mint chocolate.
I'm not interested. But I don't know. Probably not if they're not saying anything, so probably not.
You're not gonna.
I could offer you a piece of candy instead.
That's the donation you're gonna give me? A piece of candy. I'm trying to pay attention back here. Thanks, guys.
Anyone seen Avengers? No. They lost me a long time ago. Let's milk as much money as possible out of existing heroes, stories, and things that we have intellectual property to, while simultaneously alienating as many people as possible so that we can appeal to the woke folk. Bleh. Okay. Now the first thing we're going to do with this MacBook... Pick up, Kevin. Be a Kevin. All right. The first thing we're going to do here is unplug the battery. Because the battery is going to take a different amount of amperage, depending on how charged it is, which is going to mess up my readings. So the first thing that I do when I'm diagnosing this is I plug it in to the charger, and then with this little USB-C amp meter, and this is going to tell me how much power the board is taking. But if the board is also delivering power to the battery, then we're going to have two separate variables that we're measuring at the same time, which means we're actually measuring nothing. I want to know how much power the board is taking by itself, not the board plus the battery. So this board is able to make its way to 20 volts, which means the CD3215 chips are communicating with the charger. On these machines, the CD3215 chips are the USB-C muxes. They need to communicate with the charger in order to tell the charger, I'm not a cell phone, I'm a GoPro, I'm a MacBook. I want 20 volts, not 5. And that's clearly being done. But the 0 amp draw means that either our power rails are not being told to come on, or there is a dead short circuit and one of the chips is noticing that there's a dead short circuit and deciding not to create any power for the machine. The only way to figure that out would be to take this board out of the case and go from there. How is it going? 1 second. Mikey!
No, Mike.
Oh,
He's not here.
ship it.
What? Who told him that? He just came back from vacation.
Postman. Postwoman. Sorry. Didn't just assume you're Jen.
Yep. Let me stab you. You're good.
What'd you get? The heat ran out, and so had to make one fresh.
That's why. Because Sagir was complaining that his wasn't fresh. I'm like, mine looks like it was just me. Yeah. Yours too? Oh yeah, they gave you the old ones. Yeah.
The forwarded email scrubbed the attachment.
Yeah.
I will print the attachment.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. So let's... Shit. I hope I didn't delete that email by accident.
I hope not.
Wait, one second.
Do you have a trash can? Can you undelete an email?
What time? Okay.
It's kind of important.
Wait, I just have the attachment here.
You have the attachment still?
Yeah.
It's kind of important.
Okay, let's try this again. Do you really need to live indoors, Paul?
Yes.
Is that absolutely necessary?
Yes.
Have you never fixed? Because we're going to be doing the 1,000,000 subscriber stream where we fix boards in front of the Apple Store. So I need you to get used to being outside
No.
for a while. Check your Gmail. I sent it to that one.
Thank you.
I don't know. I remember reading some comment. It was something like, "I don't care what white men think of my movie" or something. So there were two things that I noticed about that comment when I read it. The first one may not be what everybody's thinking of. It's, "I don't care what white men think of my movie." Not our movie, not the movie I was acting in. My movie. That it's not your movie. There's actually a cast. There's probably a bunch of extras. You got a lot of people that are running around to put props in certain places. You got the makeup artists, the costume artists. You've got the people who are doing all the editing that nobody ever gets to meet or never get any credit, that are working until 4 in the morning every single day to get it out by deadline. It's your fucking movie. So but there's that. But the other thing is, when you say, "I don't care what X group thinks of my movie," I don't get mad at you. I'm not mad. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. I don't really care. It's just, okay, I will listen to you. I'll take what you had to say at face value. And I will not go see your movie. But I don't watch, the only stuff that I watch that's the kind of like, the superhero cartoon kind of stuff. I really enjoyed Batman and Superman the animated series, as you could probably tell from me constantly shitposting Superman beating up the truck with Paul Daniels' head in it. I really loved Batman Beyond as a kid. I wish they would continue that. The ending of it in Justice League didn't do much for me. I don't know, but as time has went on, it just seems like they're not that interesting. The plot is kind of boring, the movie's kind of boring, and it just seems like you're trying really hard to milk it for as much as you can. Just rather than let the story die, you're going to do as much as you can to make sure you get every last dollar out of this shit, even if it destroys the story, destroys the characters, destroys what made us really find it fun as kids. I just checked out of a lot of that, because a lot of movies, nothing about them is cool. You have a lot of effects, but the storyline is just, it's not the same. I don't expect to go to a theater anymore and get a Memento or a 25th Hour or a even a Blue Valentine or like Dark Blue, like that movie, 25th Hour, like that movie, Shawshank Redemption. Modern movies are just, it's not the same. I guess that's what all old people say, and maybe that's the sign that I'm getting old. But I remember seeing this John Wick or Wick something in movie. It was just so fucking boring. He had a lot of action and shit, but I felt like for 2 hours my brain was just dead. No stimulation whatsoever. No investment into the characters, no reason to care about what I see on screen. It was just so fucking boring. And I've noticed that with many modern movies that I've seen, so I've checked out entirely. And then when or even worse, then it's one of the woke movies where it's, they're purposely injecting ideology into it to make me think a certain way, or they're putting a lot of effort into making me think a certain way, rather than putting effort into actually developing decent characters and a story that's somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't really want to waste $16 to sit in the sticky movie theater seat to see that shit. I should actually watch Shawshank Redemption again. That movie makes me happy. I like Shawshank Redemption. That was a good one. We should just pre-record why he disconnects the battery and put it to a button on the stream deck. Honestly, you could probably do that with all these streams. So Here I explain why PP3v42 n/short PP3v3 underscore G3 out of the first rail. Here I explain how to figure out if a power rail is missing by figuring out is it shorted. Let's check the beginning, the end, the enable. Here I figure out if the PP bus is 12.23, 12.56. I could probably assemble a stream just from clips, and nobody would have a clue. I just have to like use Adobe After Effects or Premiere Elements. Oh no, one of those fancy schmancy programs to change the color of my shirt automatically so that it matches from video to video. And you guys wouldn't have a clue. You could definitely assemble one of these. Like Rand, Insulting Stream Viewer, this first power rail, second power rail, and so on and so forth. Okay, board's out of the case.
Yeah.
If you want to control Nightbot, tell him to take it off anybody and select monitors only. I have no idea how Nightbot works. That's Hi's department. Like when I say this is my stream or my show, I mean it's literally, you know, this is low tech. This is as fucking low tech as it gets. This is, you know, it's my camera in one program. But for me to say my movie when it's a large production, like Marvel or like any of these Marvel movies, are you fucking kidding me? No, it's not your fucking movie. Okay, I need to get some more Ziploc bags. Be right back. Location across the street from the Apple Store is $47,000 a month, so that's why I don't have it. But if you'd like to, I am a capitalist and I am open to viewer suggestions. So if you do want me to take that space, there is a link below where you can donate. Make it sure it's recurring for $47,000 though. I'll even meet you halfway. I'll pay half of it if you pay the other half. Let's read some chat before I get a plastic bag. I doubt C-level executives are having TV dinners the rest of the week. My laptop is at the store right now. I feel that way about this stream. I don't know what that way is. Nope. A Clockwork Orange makes me happy. I never finished that movie and I feel bad for it. Stock, I haven't checked today. What would ever happen if somebody chose to donate that much? Tell you what, if somebody chooses to donate $20,000 to $30,000 a month or more, I will rent a store across the street from the Apple Store. I'll meet you halfway. The movie was a circle jerk for profits. The whole plot was transparent for about 5 minutes. Yeah. Can we watch Kevin do melons? Absolutely. While I am looking for the couple of Ziploc bags, you'll get to watch Kevin. Also, why does it smell like a dead rat?
I don't know. That's why the door's open though.
Can you figure out why it smells like a dead rat? So Mikey's going to be opening a bunch of these. He has a schedule for it. So that gives you time to figure out why it smells like complete and utter trash up here.
Okay.
That is some...
Yeah.
You're the best, Olga. Thank you so much. A big hug.
It's okay.
Big hug.
It's,
You're the best. I didn't even have to ask. She just heard me talking about Ziploc bags and she handed them to
You
me.
should ask me. I have them right here for you whenever you need.
I don't need more magnets, but thank you. And now, do you know why it smells like shit up here?
Why?
No, I mean, it wasn't a rhetorical question.
Yeah, we're actually
It was a investigate and figure it out question.
my money's in the AC. I said AC. No, it does. It kind of comes and goes, and sometimes it's in certain areas. I don't know why. It's fucking weird. Oh. Yeah, right? Sometimes it makes me think it may be one of the packages.
Ship shit.
Okay.
Think that.
So let's take the board, get the out, keep this on the desk.
Is that a DCN board over here? For a Mac?
What's up?
Did I leave a DC invoice for MacBook Air here?
Yes, you did. While drunk.
Just,
You got to find. Okay. We have to pull straws to figure. Who's gonna figure out where that smell is coming from and what it is?
I think it's this bad boy right here.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
It hasn't smelled like that for 7 years.
But what else would be causing that though?
Something in there, something in there.
I was about to
Yeah,
say,
look,
like
you threw out a sandwich like 2 days ago.
Is it in here? If it's me, that would suck.
Take a nice deal with it. Now, Kevin, do it for science. Put your nose in there.
Also, can you take that filter off and wash it in the bathroom? Let's add some soap or some of that bike spray to it or something.
Yeah, crazy.
Do you know how to take off an air conditioner filter?
No. I know this comes off, but it's prime.
Stream, help them. Could that? No, get that air conditioner. You know, what are you putting a blade above your head? Are you kidding me? That blade is open and above your head while you're looking up. Kevin, cut this shit. Kevin, stop that.
I need to open this.
Kevin, stop being an idiot.
It's not open.
Yes, it is. This is painful. Give me. Move the blade out of the way.
I moved one of them.
Give the air compressor, quick. No, air compressor. Oh, God. All the way up. Turn it on, too.
That's just a case.
Oh, turn on. Turn the pressure up. Is it on? Do you know how to turn it on? Yeah. I had to get that shit away from me. Can you wash the hepatitis off of this NL? There's a hose attachment under the sink in the bathroom. There's some Hep C and I think some HIV on the corner of that.
No, that's still in effect. It's just the SSD itself is also either bad or the problem. Thank you.
Don't blow that dust into the shop. No, we blew it out of the shop. The other way. Yeah, the idea was to send that dust out the door, so it came from New York City and back out into New York City where it belongs. Are we sending it? Someone says, did Kevin forget to wipe or something? No, that wouldn't smell that bad.
Okay. All right.
You actually see some of the desk with this angle. Makes this makes the store look deceivingly larger than it is. Yeah, there's not that much space here. Like I could reach out and touch Kevin if I wanted to. Not that I would want to, but
Take me too.
okay. Back to work. It still smells like a dead rat in here. 20 volts. Let's turn on Paul Daniels' software. All right, so the first thing we're going to check is our PP bus. Now, PP3v3_G3 hot is the first rail we need for this to work. However, we already have that because we're getting 20 volts in the charger. In order to get 20 volts in the charger, these two chips need to be able to communicate with the charger, and these two chips are powered by PP3v3_G3 hot. So we have that. So the first rail we're going to check is see if we have PP bus G3 hot, because that's the rail that everything else is going to be created from. And down here, we take a look, and we see that we've got 0 volts. And now what we're going to do is we're going to see if we have a short to ground on our PP bus. 0.5 ohms. So now before we go crazy trying to figure out, like if there's a short that we can detect on the thermal camera, I just want to look at the board itself and see if there's anything obvious. Because if there's an obvious thing that's causing the short circuit, like let's say a capacitor that's clearly exploded, that saves me a step of having to go back to the office and steal Camille's thermal camera and plug it in and all that good stuff. So we're going to turn on our good old handy dandy microscope camera, which I am very happy to have. This is the last one that I can find that has this tube. See this? If you buy any other camera from Amscope or Omano or Microscope.com or Amscope or any other company, it has that really long microscope tube on the trinocular port, and it sucks. The image quality has vignetting, it has the chromatic abrasions, it's out of focus in certain areas and not in others. It's not the same as this. I've tried so many things to get it good. This is beautiful. I love this one. But this one will not fit on the newer microscopes that I get from them, even if it's the same model. But this one over here, beautiful. One of a kind. I'm never letting Kevin let somebody steal this. Never. Never. It's my microscope camera. All right. That being said, let's take a look. Look at that beautiful image.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
And the cops ever find the tip jar thief? No. And I gave them a nice high resolution 2K picture of his face as well. What are you gonna do? There's other crime to fight in New York City. So I'm trusting you guys to tell me when you see something wrong.
It smells like something burned.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. It's still not good, but it's better. Yeah.
That was that? That was the filter?
Oh no, we don't know.
Oh.
I think he's avoiding the question because he's bound by a lawsuit, or my question sucked. No, I'm trying to fix the board, so I read 1 in every 60 live chats. Also, I don't know what your question is, because that's the only thing I see from you in my Restream app.
At least he's committed.
Huh?
At least he's committed.
Who?
Whoever keeps asking the same question.
No, I can't find it. He says, I think he's avoiding my question, but I don't actually see his question. So, it's not much I can do.
Yeah. I need to wash my hands actually.
Do you think your name has ever been mentioned in Apple's boardroom by the likes of Tim Cook, Steve Jobs, or Tim Cook? Well, Steve Jobs died in 2011, back when I was still kind of a nobody. I did have my supply company back then, and I was selling about 1,200 products a day at the height of it. But he wouldn't have known who I was. That's not really a presence online. And in terms of a boardroom, I sincerely doubt my name has ever come up there. I don't think I'm important enough to them. You know, I don't think I'm not that important. I don't really matter. You know, they have more important things. Like, oh, the EU is trying to take fine us $14 billion. Or there's this regulatory issue. Or, hey, we said we are going to release this product that we put billions of dollars into researching and now we can't. Or we were going to make a car and now we're not. You know, there's a lot more important things than me. I'm the lowest. I don't matter to Apple one bit. Okay, I cannot see any obviously exploded capacitor. Or I see. Is that? No, that's not.
Good price. Did you eat it though?
Yeah, probably. I might try that tomorrow. Not right now, though.
Thank you, Nash, for the $5, by the way. I have several air purifiers, actually. I have 2 Alive air purifiers and 2 other ones in the store, and I change them as often as I can. The thing is, I don't know where the dead rat smell is coming from. And Nell, have you found where the dead rat smell is coming from?
No, but I'm smelling it again.
Yes.
Can you perhaps figure out where that... Can you find the dead rat, Nell?
I just smell the basement, too.
What if it's not here, but it's there's a homeless man died in the basement? No, because that's happened to me before. Not the homeless man dying in the basement.
Basement from here, right?
Did I ever tell you the basement story?
No.
All right, so there was so I went downstairs. No, I had this thing open and I had the gate open and I started to stream and I noticed, oh crap, the basement's open. I lock it, and then I come back out about 4 or 5 hours later when I'm done with a long stream, and I hear banging, and then I open. He's like, "You locked me down there!" And I said, "You broke into my fucking basement, asshole." I don't check my basement to see if there's a homeless man sleeping in it. Hope you. It's the same thing that Oreo does. I tell him, don't go in the closet. Don't go in the closet. I open the closet to get my jacket. He runs in. I close the door, and then I have to come home, and he's going, row, row, row. It's like, you fucking moron. I told you not to go in the closet. We've been over this every single day for 2 years. But yeah. So make sure there's no homeless person down there. Also, take a box cutter with you in case the homeless person down there has a weapon.
I'll get the box.
Or at least a nice sharp set of tweezers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me get that knife. I don't trust it. There we go. Pretty open.
You just need a stab now.
And Nell's a trooper. Alright, so I'm not finding anything obvious on here. So we're going to turn on the power supply that I fixed the other day. Had to make sure to make my credibility back from that little internet warrior fuckface that said I don't have credibility. Because I don't know everything. So we fixed that power supply in the proper manner. And now I am going to put that on my board. I'm going to put a volt into the... I'm going to put 1 volt into PP bus and see what comes out. First thing I got to do is plug in my power supply. I don't... Those little spades came out. I closed the door for a second, the kitten that wandered in once started hissing like hell. That's its fault. Don't break in other people's houses, little kitty. Bless you.
Thank you.
How much is the rent in New York City, someone asks. Too much. That's far too general a question for me to actually give you an answer that's worth a shit. So all I can, what I can say is too much. There's this one space on 192 2nd Avenue. A little salty about credibility, Colin. I'm always salty. No, I am salty all the time. That's why I have spicy potatoes. And I always carry with me not just normal salt, but specialty salt. I stay salty on stream. But anyway.
You know that toilet that's like in the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's water liquid all around it.
Okay, so I need you to fix that.
Can I get closer?
And now I need you to. If there's liquid all over a toilet in the basement, then you're the newest employee here.
What color is it?
Not clear.
Yeah, what was I saying? I forget what I was saying before Nell came back up. iPad Rehab is here. Someone commenting on my channel thinks you're my brother. That's a big step up from grandma. I find that personally insulting. I'm disgusted. Somebody could think that I'm in my 50s. That's offensive. Absolutely offensive. Anyway, let's see what we have here. I'm going to solder this wire on, turn up the power. What's the story with Masterclass's zero effect? I'll let Jessa explain that to you all. Jessa, funny thing about that Masterclass thing. Yeah, I will let Jessa explain that. Turn the voltage up a little bit. That's not marijuana, Kevin. That's a dead rat.
Now that I sat down, you can't go. You're there. Loud.
Oh yeah, store somewhere there. So on 192 2nd Avenue. You can pass by 192 2nd Avenue, and I may pass by and stream it later, depending on whether the GoPro decides to be a GoPro or a properly functioning device. But yeah, it's this piece of garbage space, $10,000. I got to show you what that looks like. No more Datasoft, no more. Nope, I don't keep them up. Yep. Alright, so we're going to see if the CPU is what's getting warm here. Actually, one thing we can do, so check this out. This is a good trick. So I only injected 0.8 volts into that, which even if the CPU MOSFET was shorted would be fine. So I'm going to check my resistance between my PP-Bus G3 hot and my CPU coils. So remember, 3.6 ohms to ground. So remember, PP-Bus is shorted to ground. CPU V-core is always going to be a very low resistance to ground, but at least it's high enough that I don't think it's something too terrible. 3.6 ohms is good, so we're not directly shorted. So if that was 0, then I would say CPU MOSFETs are what is shorted to PP bus, and that's what's causing our issue. But it's not. Now, I don't feel like walking to the back of the store to get the thermal cam. I'm being really lazy. So what I'm going to do is, you know what I'm going to do. How come you don't work in the back of the store? Because I don't. That's because I don't. Because I work up here. That's why. Okay, so. Anything obviously shorted. Ooh, I see smoke. Pretty, pretty smoke. Look at that. Z Compact Pro requires no walking to the back. Yeah, but that requires money. I broke. I spent all my money on data recovery stuff. No more money. I'm out of money. Okay, which one of these caps is it? I'm pretty sure that it's the one all the way on the right. Because if you notice, the capacitor all the way on the right is the one that has no liquid on it. So every time I do this, the liquid heats away from those caps, but it's totally gone from this one. So here we're going to see how the hot tweezers are at fixing that. Let me just turn off the voltage. And let's see how long it takes. I'm going to so the tweezers just beeped. I'm holding it up like this. Let's see how long it takes for the cap to come off and the board to drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is one of the reasons I hate hot tweezers. Look at this. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Useless piece of shit. How the fuck does Jesse use those is beyond me. Fuck hot tweezers. And you may say that's a big component, and point taken, but it does that even with 0402s. It drives me up a fucking wall. Look. One, two, yoink. Fuck hot tweezers. Alright, you got the rest of that capacitor that I knocked off over there. And we got rid of any of the junk left over on the pad. Now we get ourselves a donor board and replace that capacitor with a better one. Healthier, happier, more productive. The Lewis upgrade Red Ripper 2. You been kidding me? Spent $3,000 on this one already. Hell no. I wound up spending $300 or $400 on water cooling that actually worked. No, this system is far too high end already. It gets 25,000 to 26,000 on CPU Benchmark. So if you go to CPU Benchmark's website, you'll see that my Threadripper 2950X, it's a 25,000 score. My old machine, it was a Core i7 5820K or 5720 or 5930, I forget. It was the 6-core 3.3 gigahertz Haswell, whichever one was the 6-core 3.3 gigahertz Haswell. It was about a 12 or a 13,000, I think it was like 11 or 12,000 on there. So I typically do not upgrade my CPU until the score on CPU Benchmark is a full double of what it was in the old one. Because if it's not twice as fast, then I'm putting a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of money into it for no reason. That's why I really don't get people that are constantly upgrading. They're always looking at these benchmarks all the time, because there was a time where in a year to 18 months you were getting some genuine, really cool improvements, and now that just doesn't exist anymore. You know, it took 5 years after I bought that processor to get twice the performance. And you have to keep in mind that doubling of the performance also came at 3 times the price. So the 6-core Haswell 3.3 gigahertz that I got, I bought that for $340 or $350 in free shipping at the time. Whereas the Threadripper, that one cost me over $900. So after 5 years, you still had to pay 3 times as much money than you did 5 years ago in order to get twice the performance. So I'm not really excited. I'm not excited about upgrading stuff at all. There's no reason for it. Because the amount of money that you have to spend to get an upgrade where you're really going to notice a genuine difference, you have to spend a stupid amount of money. Now, if there's some sort of system out there where I could have, 4 Xeon CPUs, and if I could have 4 Xeon CPUs in one machine, then sure, I would do it. Like if I had the money to get 4 Xeon CPUs in one computer, then I could see. You buy the best Xeon there is, you buy 4 of them, that's an upgrade. But this incremental stuff, like this, there's no excitement to me. It's like, I used to have a 25,000 benchmark score, and now I have a 26,000 CPU benchmark score. It's like, no, boring, effing boring. Even Ryzen really is boring. Let me see if I can find this chart. So even Ryzen is honestly boring to me. So let's see. Which one was mine? Intel i7 Haswell. Okay, which one was mine? Mine was this one. i7 5820K. So this was my old computer. I got this thing in 2014. Right? Now we look at the Ryzen 2950X CPU benchmark score. Okay, so it's not even double. I'm actually wrong here. So this is 25,400 something, and this is almost 13,000. So we don't even have a doubling of performance. There's not even a doubling of performance, and we've went from a processor that is $289 to $800. So you legitimately you have a processor that costs 3 times as much. It came out 5 years later. Or 4 years later, actually. Yeah, because to be fair, this thing came out in 2018. So it came out 4 years later. It cost 3 times as much for twice the performance. So let's see. What is the new AMD? Someone said Ryzen 5 1400. What is that? Yeah, I'm not really going to get much difference out of that, am I? Ryzen 5 1400. CPU benchmark. Oh, get the fuck out of here. My Lenovo is more powerful than this. Let's see. I think I have a Xeon 1515. Yeah, E3 5515. E3. This is what my ThinkPad P50 has in it. I think it has the... Yeah, this is my... I believe. Okay, no, this is a little different than mine. Yeah, ThinkPad P50 Xeon. Which one is mine? Okay, I have the E3 1505M. Yeah, so my ThinkPad beats that thing. Like, my laptop beats that processor. But yeah, right now I have this. So I have 2950X. Yeah. And for NVEnc, I have an RTX 2080. Whatever the hell this is. I don't have the tie one. I have the normal one. Yeah. Minus tie. I don't know what the tie does. The bow tie or something. Maybe it makes it more professional. Yeah, so I don't have an RTX 2080 tie. I have an RTX 2080. But I don't know where to find that, actually. Yeah, I can't find that shit anywhere. Oh, well. Oh, well. So I'm fine. I got my, I got this. I got this, and I got this one, but without the tie. So mine's not professional. Because it's not wearing a tie. It's like wearing a V-neck t-shirt or something. I'm not upgrading for the next 5 years, at least. This is going to last me a minimum 5 years. And,
Hi, can you hear me?
oh, Nitrocaster's here.
Hello?
Is Nitrocaster here?
Hello, can you look?
Hey, why are you streaming so early today? Because I got a lot of my work done earlier that I needs to get done, so I'm good. The one thing I'm actually curious about, and this is something maybe one of you can answer because I'm stupid, so I'm hoping that one of you can help me with this. So, in Vegas, in Open Broadcaster, they have a new version of NVEnc, which is supposed to be much more better in quality because it's more newer and more better. Is there a way to get that in Vegas? Because when you go to Vegas and you go you can render as... Tell me I just fucked up my recording. Uh-oh. Ah, shit. Yeah, I just fucked that up. Whoops. Okay. Re-record and do my clapping. Okay. Anyway, so there's a way to render using NVEnc in Vegas. I rarely use it. I usually use the software encoder. But I am curious if there's a way to get the new version of NVEnc, which is better inside of Vegas. Yeah, Vegas is not going to update shit. I've been using the software for years and it still crashes all the time. Oh well. But it would be really cool if Vegas could use the newer version of NVENC. Or if NVIDIA could release something for that, because it's much better quality. It's so much faster than using the normal encoder, but I don't want to get it unless it's a good one. Okay, so at this point, we are going to dry off this board. I'm just going to put the fume extractor on so I don't smell alcohol. And I poured a bunch of alcohol on this board. I am going to try to remove it. I'm going to lower the temperature here. I don't need 500 Celsius for that. I'll stick to 300. Do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Why not use Premiere? Because Premiere requires learning it, and I don't feel like paying monthly for software. Like, screw you. I like it better than Vegas, very advanced. Okay, yeah, advanced is not what I'm looking for, because I don't do advanced editing. Does it support VST audio plugins? And is it simple enough that an idiot can use it? I really just need it to be idiot-proof and support VST plugins. That's really... VST audio plugin, idiot-proof. Okay, now we rapid cool it. Rapid dry. You always follow up your rapid dry session with a rapid cool session. Rapid cool. And we're going to try and turn this on. With the playback performance in Vegas, the apps effects processing is limited because I don't use app effects. I don't do any video effects or anything like that. The most advanced video effect you'll ever see me do is if I'm showing you a picture on the screen and I want you to see it, I'll move the picture over here and I'll move me over here. That's the most advanced effect I've ever done in Vegas. Move me over here and move this over there for this track. But I do use VST audio plugins. That's the only thing I really care about. But yeah, I don't want to open the software and be greeted with a 1960s plane cockpit of options because I'm not advanced like that. Okay, so let's see if removing our cap fixed our problem. This would be a very long... Geez, 53 minutes to one board. Not very efficient. And as can be seen here, it is taking 500 milliamps, which means it is turning on and working. So it just had one bad capacitor. We were able to find the short without use of the thermal camera just by injecting voltage using our power supply. And remember, if you do have a short circuit on PP-Bus G3 Hot, I would check if you have a short circuit between PP-Bus G3 Hot and the coils of any of the other power supplies. The reason I would do that is PP-Bus G3 Hot is the power rail that is going to be responsible for creating all the other power rails. So these systems are going to have PP5VS5, PP5VS4, PP5VS3, PP3V3S3, PP3V3SO, PP1V8SO, the V-core, CPU V-core. So all the main power rails in the machine are created using this line that is 12 volts. So let's say one of the high side MOSFETs that does the switching. So it says, okay, 12 volts now, no 12 volts, 12 volts now, no 12 volts, 12 volts now, no 12 volts. To create a smaller power line like the 5 volts to the 3 volt line, let's say that one of those is shorted. So it's always on. You don't want to put voltage into your PP bus, which is 12 volts, and if your 12 volts is shorted to your 5 volt line, or your 3 volt line, or your 1 volt line, because then whatever voltage you injected in is now going to be going...
Oh yeah, I see where going. Sorry.
Is now going to be going directly into those lower rails, which is why I stick to a voltage that is lower than the lowest rail when I'm injecting. So even though I do make that measurement to make sure that my main power line, my PP-Bus G3 Hot, is not shorted to any of the other coils, what I do is I also make sure that the voltage in the power supply is that of the lowest rail in the machine. So let's say CPU V-core is 0.9 volts. Just in case PP-Bus is shorting to everything, I make sure that I set the power supply to 0.8 volts and try to find the short that way. This way, even if I do a mismeasurement or make a mistake, and PP-Bus G3 Hot is shorted through another power line or through another FET, I'm not skull-fucking the entire machine. So let me just see if this gives us a picture on the screen. And I will have to cut the stream short because the front of the store smells like absolute garbage, and I have to figure out why. And... yeah, this is unacceptable.
Okay.
I think I now missed a homeless person that died downstairs or something.
Yeah, so the Thunderbolt ports, if there's an issue with the port itself, then it could, it's connected to the port, so we need to go to port, which is usually on 425. But usually those specific issues, sorry about that, the porting is usually pretty difficult. So those transfer usually to solve it.
Let's see if we get a question mark folder.
But yeah, the other thing on 425 for to repair the port itself.
Actually, shit. I left the Wi-Fi cable exposed down there. Whoopsie. Let's just pretend that didn't happen.
Both ports of it. Okay. We could attempt to repair it, but it's usually around 425. I don't know if it's really worth it for 425 for both those ports, but if you decide it is, you could send it in for an estimate. We could try to do it, and in the case that we can't, then you just give it for a return shipping. Top case replacement, I'd have to check the price online, but anywhere between 150 and 250. I'm not too sure what the price is at that, so that price could be pretty
Also, you see, is my screen turning on? It's really difficult to tell on these in contrast, by contrast to the older versions. Meter on, meter off. Do we have a light on the screen? Okay, we have 43 volts on the screen. So there is a backlight on there. So at some point we should be getting a question mark folder. Remember, we have to have image power in order to get backlight power. So if I have power on backlight output, then I'm definitely going to be having image to the screen.
Definitely.
Okay, and this light is actually blowing out the light of the MacBook, so you can't see that there's a question mark folder there. See? Question mark folder. And if I boot it into the operating system, I'd be able to raise the brightness. So this board has been fixed. It just needed that one little capacitor knocked off of the board. Another machine saved from the Genius Bar. Another machine saved from the hands of this individual. Another device saved from this person's grubby hands. Which one? Do I have the name right here? I don't think you can say repairability equals longevity, says Lisa Jackson, Apple's vice president of policy and social initiatives. I often say if you're in the repair business, repair seems like the answer. But actually, you need to design for the life cycle. And Apple has designed for some time around durability, around the idea that we can release the latest and greatest product, your old product still works and has value. Our first thought is you don't need to repair this. When you do, we want the repair to be fairly priced and accessible to you. She added, to think about these very complex products and say the answer to all our problems that you should have anybody to repair and have access to the parts is not looking at the whole problem. I don't think you could say repairability equals longevity. I don't think you can say repairability equals longevity. I don't think you can say that the ability to fix something when it breaks, when you create devices that typically fail within 1 to 3 years, actually has anything to do with how long you're going to use it for. There is nothing about having the ability to replace a battery in a device that makes it something that would be able to last long. There's nothing about being able to replace a keyboard on something where if you got a single drop in the Z key, it doesn't work because you haven't figured out how to do liquid proofing the same way that Lenovo figured out how to do this shit 14 fucking years ago. That has anything to do with longevity. Every time one of you watches one of these streams and fixes something like this, you are saving one of these machines from being eaten by this human being. Ah, awful. Absolutely effing awful. Yeah, this person right here. I love that. Like, repairability does not equal longevity. I understand what you're saying when you say you want the customer to be able to use the product as long as possible. But being able to fix it when it breaks, when you create products that have a design defect or flaw every single year, Lisa, that has something to do with longevity. Save as many machines you can from this person. Save them. Save them. Keep them away from this Daisy robot. Do not let Daisy get the machine back. Fix it!
So we'd have to take a look at it first.
No
of
Daisy.
course, but if it's
Okay, I really got to get rid of that smell.
recovery,